block, and then immediately after that, we'll have player availability on the field. So, when you're ready, coach, it's all yours.
Yeah, I want to thank you, John. I want to thank everyone for being here. Certainly, it's probably one of the most exciting times to be a part of UB football, simply because of our leadership. Leadership with our administration, leadership with our coaching staff, and with our players. Our seniors have done an outstanding job, and they really have the capabilities and possibilities of being a very special group by what they do on the football field this upcoming fall. So we got an exciting schedule. Fall camp has been very spirited, very well organized, well run. I think that's the benefit of having a coaching staff that's all been together. But our players have really put together a great effort this past summer by being here and certainly by committing themselves to being an all-in mentality. So it's still early. We're still going through the process of installing our offense, defense, special teams, but we've had one preseason scrimmage so far. We're going to have another one Saturday. So we're going to still look at some key positions for us to fill in. But I've been really pleased with the mindset of our football team and certainly where our football program is heading at this point. What makes him so good? He's big. He's very strong. He's a very a passionate football player. Football is important to him. He's worked extremely hard under the leadership of Zach Duval. So, when he came in, he was a lean 220, 225. Now he's up into the 250, 255 range. So he's benefited greatly from, his Coach Duval's training technique. He's taken better care of himself, and not that he was not taking care, but he's doing a better job. And he's got an instinctive nature to his ability to play the game. He sees things, and he can react awfully quick. He's been blessed with a lot of power, strength, and ability to explode. But his passion and his leadership has been very, very solid, and I've been very special player. And the best is yet to come, and I told him, I said, you're on a watch list because everyone's going to watch you, but nothing's more important than you accomplishing the two goals you came here to achieve, and that is to earn your degree and help us compete for the Mid-American Conference Championship. And he's on board with that, and he's been doing a fantastic job in that locker room with a number of other seniors. Well, I would expect Khalil to prepare the right way and perform to the best of his ability, and certainly he's on track to not only break one NCAA collegiate record, but two. A chance to put his name, his family's name, the University at Buffalo above every single player that's ever played in the game of football, whether it's tackles for a loss or forced fumbles. But he's not thinking about those records. He's thinking about lining up, playing one snap at a time. Today, he just very disruptive football player, and it's tough to block him. And I know other offenses they struggle finding a way to get to him too. And he's just got a great sense for the game, and then we're excited about his leadership and his ability to make plays. And I saw it again out there today. So, we're just bringing him along just like we are every single player. We're going to continue finding ways to put these kids in the right position and to make plays. And they're going to go ahead and accomplish those objectives for us.
Coach, every year you want to compete for the championship. Are there years where you really think you can compete for the championship? And if so, are we in one of those? And how's that feel different compared to other years?
I've never wavered 1 second. I knew we had the capability of winning a MAC championship. This program has already won a MAC championship. And when that bar has been set, then every single player and every single coach that follows thereafter knows that goal is achievable and obtainable. And I've never flinched 1 second from that standpoint. I've always had that mindset. And it's the same mindset I have today, Brad. I mean, it's guys like Khalil, it's guys like Bo, it's guys like Alex Nutz. It's coaches like Lou Tepper and Alex Wood, Zach Duval. I know that they all feel very strongly each and every year since they've been in our program that we've had the capability to win and win consistently. And that's what we did last year. We saw that team last year saw a way to win some key games, but this year's team needs to learn how to win a championship. And that's the mindset of those players in there. And they've come closer and closer together. The chemistry, the competitiveness, the contributions that each of them are committed to making to each other shows a tremendously mature football team. And that's why I feel, without a doubt, this team has the ingredients to be very, very special. And in the past, I've never changed my mindset. It's always about winning. And they've been challenged to do that. We fell short. That's unacceptable, no excuses. But now we have a new opportunity with this year's team and this exciting schedule that's just quickly approaching us right now.
What's the maturity level of the quarterback position?
Improving. Joe's a very, very solid young man in terms of his emotional stability, his mindset. He has some tremendous skills. He throws the ball very well, but he's improving even more in terms of managing in our offense. That's what I like. He studies film. He spends a tremendous amount of time, watching the way coverages are, being presented, where certain safeties are located and tipping off certain, whether it's zone or man. And, he's able to see the whole field from sideline to sideline and all the way down the field. And he's doing a better job with his pocket presence. He's moving away from the rush better. He's improved in that area because of his strength and skill development in the offseason. But he's becoming a much smarter football player, understanding the management of the offense in the game of football and the speed of the game and how quickly he needs to make decisions and accurate decisions. And he's made some tremendous plays in fall camp so far.
So much attention paid to Khalil and then Kobe Way. People tend to forget about Najee Johnson on the defense. And so it looked like you had him as kind of a shadow safety yesterday. Are you moving him around at all, or is he just playing on the outside?
Well, I've never lost track of Najee Johnson. He's one of our another tremendous leader in our football program. He's played a lot of football. If you look across the board, a lot of these guys played a lot of football for us. They've been in not just in practice, but and obviously big games. But we're always trying to disguise what we're doing. So whether you're on offense or defense, you're trying to put your players in the best position and disguise things. So it gives a little bit. The offenses keep them a little bit off balance. And Najee's been somebody that is capable of doing multiple things on the back end of our defense, whether it's in pass coverage or on run support. So we're going to continue doing that with him.
It's still about passion and heart to play the game. You talked about when you first came here, you wanted to instill that passion and the heart and the love to play the game. Is that still a major factor in part of football?
It has always been. It's something. It's a passion. It's something that you have to love it and live it. And that's something that I convey to my football team ever since the day I came here. And that's the way I've always. When I was a player, when I was a young coach to a veteran coach, I don't think you could ever be successful in anything you do in life unless you love it and live it. It's got to be something that you have conviction and passion and excitement for. It's a great game. I love the game of football, but I always tell myself I love coaching those players. Those are the guys that really get me excited every day. And the way they're responding and developing and responding to the coaches but each other, that's been a real positive sign. The leadership is our seniors have done a great job of reaching out and helping these young players. We go over to our evening where our kids are staying, and you'll see more rooms spending time quizzing each other, opening the playbooks. Guys here watching more and more film. So it shows that we've brought in players that are the right kind of guys that I want around our football team, that you have a chance to be a tremendous football team as the season moves on. But our senior leadership has really done it, and they love it, and they live it, and they've heard it from day one. And those are the guys that I went out and recruited, and now we got a chance to do something special, and those young kids are all in too, and they're feeding off of the energy of the seniors.
What kind of leader is Joe Licata, and how are the guys responding to him?
Well, his leadership is, he shows up every day well prepared, and I think that shows a level of maturity, and he's able to make some plays, and that's been a big part of where we are with our offense. Last year we weren't anywhere near where I would consider a dominating offense. We were good, but we weren't great, and we need to be great. And we had a great speaker come in and talk about the difference of what good is compared to great. And I think our players understand that they want to achieve that success, and Joe has been able to show that to himself and his teammates. So I think it's part of the maturation process that takes place. He's a second-year player in our program, or he's a sophomore in our program, even though it's third year. But he's worked extremely hard, and you can't achieve anything unless you have a work ethic, and Joe has that work ethic, and I think that's displayed by his effort, and I think that's where our other players and his teammates feel his leadership is improving. Well, I bring a speaker in every night in the first week of camp, but it's people, okay? And the culture around here is improved in our locker room, in our building, and as you know, Rodney, you've been around our program, and a lot of you gentlemen have been around our program, and you see a different mindset with the individuals, and it's because of the young men that we've brought in and developed, and it was a great message, and certainly I think our kids learned a lot. Don't waste time being average. Anybody can have a good play once in a while, a good day once in a while, a good game once in a while. But to be great, excellence has to show up every day, and you have to strive for that. And to be able to do that, you have to have the right people. And that's the great thing about the leadership, as I said, in our department, in our program, and on this team this year. And it's those 105 guys in that locker room and our coaches.
Jeff, on another point of culture, you're wearing the new brand on your polo. You see it in the backdrop behind you as the face of maybe the most prominent athletic program in this campus. What do you make of this new branding, and what kind of message is that trying to send?
Well, it's a movement more than anything. It's just taking this program, department, university to a different level. We have a big-time university that obviously conveys the things we want to convey out there in terms of academics and championship athletics. You look at, and we've told this to all of our recruits, we want a big-time football program here. And as a leader of the football program, we want to get that message out to let current, future players and people, fans, to understand we want to be what the University of Wisconsin is to the state of Wisconsin, Texas is to Texas. We have the vast potential of reaching that. And to do that, you have to have that mindset. And, New York is a tremendous state with a lot of proud people. And we have a lot of alumni out there. We have a lot of UB Blue out there throughout the state of New York. And we want to bring them all together. And certainly we're proud where we're located in the great city in Western New York and Buffalo. The UB brand is strong and powerful, and I'm telling you, it's really hit home with a lot of people and our recruits. And I've had over thousands of recruits come up, camps, junior days. I mean, we've been working on this 2014. It's been well received, and they're excited about it. So we certainly want to represent this great university and a great state of New York, and to be one of those football teams that can reach to the level that a Wisconsin, a Texas is able to reach. And everyone has a starting point. Everyone grows through those processes. We know Wisconsin's not where they are today because, all of a sudden one day somebody said, hey, we want to be a big-time program. It takes time. Look at the Boise States and the Fresno States and then a lot of them. I talk about, even last year Kent State. They went undefeated in our league, and, we know for many years they struggled, to have winning championship season. They were able to do it. So it's people and it's a mindset, and let's get to work and let's have some fun. And we got a very solid football team with a lot of exciting things going on, and you can carry that name of New York on in front of your chest along with Buffalo and your name on the back. It's going to be an exciting year. So our kids are really, they've really embraced it.
Coach, in the past, you've always talked about getting two quarterbacks ready for the season. Now this is Joe's time and Joe's turn, correct?
Joe's our starting quarterback, yes. Made that clear after the spring game, and certainly we know how important it is to develop all of our players in our program. Alex Zordich, I mean, the great thing about Alex Zordich, I mean, you talk about a mature, responsible, quality teammate. He's out there competing every day. He's making plays because you never know what – we all know that it could be one play where the next guy's got to come in. So we have to get all of our guys ready to compete and play at the highest level. If our ultimate goal, which will never change, our destination will never change, and that is compete for the Mid-American Conference Championship at the end of the year, we're going to need a lot of players. But Joe has certainly emerged as our starting quarterback. He'll take the first snap against Ohio State. But we also got to get Alex Zordich ready. And Alex is one of 2 players ever in the history of our program that's going to graduate in 3.5 years, 7 semesters. Wasn't redshirted. You talk about a quality young man and a young man who's committed to his education. The only other player, if anybody knows, is Drew Willie. Drew's the only other player in our program that finished his bachelor's degree in 3.5 years, 7 semesters, and Alex Zordich is going to be the second player. So he's really bought in. And it's a commitment by our administration to get these kids here during the summer. So that was a big part of it, and he's taking full advantage of it. So Joe's got that opportunity, but we have to get Alex ready, and without a doubt, we got to get an emerged number 3, either between Tony Daniel or Colin Michael.
Jeff, we've seen some new looks in the offense and utilization of players in different roles. How did that evolve from last season? And how much does the fact that you knew after spring ball who the quarterback was going to be factor into how you approach things?
Well, my approach is, it was the personnel, and certainly when you have a lot of good players out there, I always said, look, play all the good players, play the best players, and if you have a lot of good players, play them all. And you have to find ways to get those young men on the field. So Coach Wood, my entire offensive staff, myself, spent a great deal of time talking about how we can get the certain personnel on the field and, mix them in and rotate without compromising tempo, because we still want to move quickly to the line of scrimmage without bringing in and out of players. So, there's a little give and take there, but I think what our entire team sees is there's a lot of potential weapons on that offensive side, whether it's at the wide receiver skill position, whether it's at the big skill running back, fullback, H-back, tight ends, which is nice. And we have, 2 very good and quality young men at the quarterback position. And then you look at the big guys up front that have really come on. So their techniques are very sound. So overall, I've been really pleased with their development and their progress up to this point. Now what we have to do is prove that we're better than a middle-of-the-pack offense in scoring, getting down in the red zone and putting points on the board.
Jeff, it's almost shocking to get through 25 minutes of the press conference and not talk about Brandon Oliver. He was the hot topic last year. After the injury last year, a little less attention on him this year. He's always kind of had that edge to his work ethic, but is it even sharper now?
Brandon Oliver is one of my favorite players. I've told it to him. I've told it to the team. Why? Because he plays with a tremendous, relentless effort. His first play and his last play, you can't tell. And you can't tell whether he's in the middle of the game, late in the game, or the first play in the game. Brandon plays at a high level, and he's been a tremendous inspirational leader to our football team. And one of the things that I think has really happened is the fact that when he went down last year, we were able to bring along guys like Devin Campbell. And now we have Anthony Taylor back and James Potts. So those are the kind of guys that really need to really step up their play when Brandon's not in there. But we're going to hand the ball off to Brandon Oliver. He knows that. He's certainly excited about that opportunity. He's certainly got a chance to put himself in a very elite group, with one great tailback and James Starks. But those things don't matter to him either. I bring it up, but he wants to win a MAC championship. And until that happens, nothing else is going to be acceptable. And that's what he's working on, is his teammates and himself. So he's an exciting player and one of the best in the league, and certainly one of the best in the country. And he's got a chance to be very special this year behind that offensive line.
Have you ever seen Alex Newt drop a pass?
Alex Nutz, and everyone's been out there. He catches everything. It's amazing how well he has his hand and eye coordination, his timing, his spatial awareness, being able to do the things that very few players are capable of doing. Fearless. I mean, he is a tremendous player because he concentrates. He's locked in the moment every single second out there. So he catches everything he should, and most passes are the ones that most can't. So he's just a special player. And he's got a 3.9 GPA, earned his bachelor's degree already, and he's in grad school at UB along with Nigel Johnson. So it tells you the type of people that we have in our locker room and the type of people representing this great university.
Less than 3 weeks when you guys do head to Columbus, what have you told your team about what's one of the big opportunities you have going up against the top team and to showcase your program on the national stage?
Well, I guess if they're the number 2 team, we beat them. I guess we're the number 2 team in the country. But we know that those are tremendous, challenges for our football team. But look, we're competitors. These kids in there want to measure up against the best in the country. That's why we schedule those games. And we certainly have a number of Ohio kids on our roster to have an opportunity. When I go out and recruit, just like last year, we went down to Georgia. We recruit Georgia. And I always tell them, look, we're going to come back down to your home state, play in front of your fans and your family and your friends. Same thing with Florida. We're working on that. We're working on, like we did in Tennessee, just like we've done in Baylor when we had Texas kids, and now we get a chance to go to Ohio State. So, it's exciting for these kids, and they certainly are locked in and will be prepared to play their very best football game. So it's a race to be at mid-season, late-season form in game 1 and 2 because those are quality opponents. So we're going to play hard, we're going to play physical, and we're going to get after it. And we're going to let the 4 quarters play out, and hopefully we'll get this thing in overtime and see what happens.
What's different this season? I mean, now that you've had a week camp, you had all summer. Obviously, there's been a lot of optimism around the program the last since you've been here, but there hasn't been a whole lot of success once the season started. What's different this year? You see going into the year that change the result.
Well, my definition of success is the fact that if every single kid out there competes at the highest level with tremendous effort, doing things the right way every day, you're on the right path. And we built this thing the right way from the foundation on up with the right kind of people. And these young men have completely embraced that. So each year we've had steady improvement, winning every single year, 1 win more than we did the previous year. We've brought in a tremendous group of young men over the last few years. Not losing a football coach on my staff, to know that our staff is well intact, we're all on the same page, have great continuity, consistency, everybody knows what the expectations are. That's the improvement. That's where we are. Now that gives you a chance to compete at the highest level. Now what we have to do is go prove it on the field. Certainly we need to produce and we need to get the results, and these kids are eager to do that. This is going to be an exciting year, as I mentioned in the opening comments. The most exciting time to be a part of UB football, and this group here has a chance to do something special. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Like I said, we'll go out in the field now. The team photo will be in about 10